Infosys. And that is where Infosys, some of these companies will come and say, you know what, guys, this is how you do today. We have seen 50 other companies like this and have done in 50 other places. We have this creative team. This team is going to work with you and make you look better compared to your competitor. So if it is about market share pitch, if it is about growth pitch, I think they are most likely going to go and get some good digital partner to talk about the strategy and execute on it. Okay. If it is about cost, right? So of course, they have the option to go back to Infosys for even cost, but they may make a choice to do their own captives in some of these countries, right? So now Infosys may say that, you know what, I will BOT for you, build, operate, transfer. I will build the captive for you in India and Philippines and wherever. I will operate it for a certain time, make the talent, whatever strategy, all the policies and everything up and running for you, and I will transfer it to you. So that could be the strategy, or maybe a lot of companies actually go on their own. They set up, they hire a leader there, they take a space and they build their team. But captives, if you're asking, and I don't know whether I'm answering your question, but let me just finish about the captive. See, the captive is a cyclic, nature. So what happens is that Morgan Stanley, some gentlemen, some senior leader come and they say, you know what, I was there earlier in Bank of America, and I set up a captive which saves so much money. That is what Morgan Stanley should do. And, that concept will be sold to the board and investment will be approved, and they'll go find a location wherever it is, India or Philippines or wherever it is, and they'll hire a leader and build a team. Okay. Now, so while the initial assumption was that you will have low cost, and that might be true for first 1 or 2 years, but after 3 years, 4 years, they say that the cost is going much more than what they had thought. And that captive may not be as, great of a story as they had thought. Then what I have seen actually in a lot of places, what start to happen is, that is when, let's say, TCS will come along and say, you know what, you have a huge operation, and which is doing a lot of maintenance and support. And we know that, or, based on discussion, they will know that, there's a 400 people captive in India. There is maybe 50 people in the US, maybe something like, so they will do a whole large deal construct. They will say that we will take all the 400 people in India, we'll take your 80 people in the US, and we will, give you this particular, and maybe we'll pay you some money, in fact, for buying the captives in India. But you give us the contract for next 10 years. So basically then they monetize the captive that they have created, right? What a Morgan Stanley created a captive, they monetized it because they sold it. And TCS bought it because they got 10-year business, and they not only got business for those 400 people in India, but they also kind of, bundled, other people who might be in other locations. They create a larger deal out of it. So captive works that way. Now, I don't really know whether Ness, you were referring to Ness about they do BOT, or you were referring to someone else. That part I was not very sure.
Ness does BOT as well.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to understand the overall, the overall. What I was confused about is, like, how can you do something like a BOT but do product development or front-end development? Because it feels a little more ingrained with customers than purely some of the other things in IT outsourcing that are a bit more.
You are right. The digital and BOT, they typically do not go together. I cannot go and say that I am a digital expert, and by the way, I can also do BOT for you. That story in general doesn't stitch together very well, but so you are rightly confused. I don't know, but if I am you, I'll also be confused that if Ness is claiming that they are digital leader as well as they do BOT, I think there is something to be thought deeper there or research deeper there.
That's helpful. Super. Can we talk a little bit about just, I think we touched on this a little bit earlier, but we started talking about the competitive dynamics between different outsourcers, and helpful to understand just sort of pricing and how things like pricing has sort of evolved over time.
Okay. So